guys, hope you're all doing well. So I'm coming to you in my bare melanin, wearing our melanin on this sort of last day of Black History Month, although this is a leap year, so we got an extra day. But yes, how are you guys? I am coming to you. Oh, I got out of breath. I'm coming to you with my favorite products from Black-owned brands. Now, why am I doing this? Well, it's Black History Month. This is my contribution on my YouTube channel. But no, it's Black History Month. We need to celebrate Black history. We should celebrate Black history all year long. If you're watching this video and you're like, why do you have to click out? Let's not do this. I love all makeup brands. I try. Y'all know I try any and everything. But just let's take these little bit of minutes on the internet to support our own, or my own. I don't know what color you are watching this, but to support my own. And I want to support more Black-owned brands and just incorporate more of them into my makeup collection. So what I'm giving you is not just a list of my favorite Black-owned brands, but my favorite products from brands that happen to be Black-owned. Like, I didn't buy these things because they're Black-owned. I tried these things, I like them, and they happen to be Black-owned. So these are true products, true favorites, and these are some things you might already have in your collection you might not have known. So the first one, I'm not even gonna get into it, but the first one is the Gloss Bombs from Fenty. Now, Rihanna is the creative director of Fenty. She is the founder, all that. But Rihanna's not the owner of Fenty. If I'm not mistaken, through my research, it's owned by LVMH. I might have got those letters mixed up. The same people that own, so like Kendo brands, like Kat Von D, Sephora brand, that kind of thing. So I don't think she's like a sole owner, sole proprietor type of thing. But obviously Rihanna created Fenty. We get it. But I think she has an owner. So I don't want to be like, if someone call me out in the comments, like, y'all know. So yeah, do a little research on that. But anyway, gonna count today. The Gloss Bomb, oh my goodness. So this is the newer shade I have called Hot Chocolate. The other one is actually in my purse. This texture of lip gloss, it is wonderful. So she has a few shades out, maybe like 5 or 6 shades. You get a large doe foot applicator, which I appreciate. Again, this is called Hot Chocolate. The other shade is a neutral shade as well. This is a deeper neutral brown, and it has some sparkle in it, some rose gold. Ooh, my hand ashy. Purple reflective sparkle. Absolutely beautiful. This gloss is comfortable on the lips. It gives such a hint of sheer coverage. Just that little your lips but better kind of feel. Kind of look, I'm sorry. Wonderful texture. Not sticky at all. Easy to reapply. It holds it down. It definitely a few hours for a gloss. It definitely holds itself down. Yes, it is $18. I think it's worth the $18. It's a really good gloss. It's like my everyday gloss. It's in my purse. But I really do like it. I wish I would have got my hands on the little mini set of them over the holidays. Probably was an even better deal. But anyway, Fenty Gloss Bomb. Boom. Okay, the next product, I didn't know this was a Black-owned brand, but hey, is the Sasha Buttercup Setting Powder. So this is by Sasha Cosmetics. Check them out. This powder, I remember it had a real good run-in on YouTube for a while. It was everyone's holy grail. It's not my holy grail setting powder because this I like to bake with. I think it really shines when you bake, and I don't bake all the time. But if I am going to bake, then I'll bake with the Sasha Buttercup. So it's a yellow based powder, really great for women of color, under the eyes. Or Black women under the eyes, rather. Some women of color this might be too yellow for you, or too light, so it just depends. But anyway, it's really fine. It's a great baking powder because you can pick it up with a sponge. I like to bake with my whatever sponge I put the concealer on with. I like to pick up the powder with it, and it sticks to it transfers from the container to the sponge to your face really well, and you get a lot on there to bake really well. When you dust it off, it really brightens. It sets the concealer well. I don't have a lot of creasing, if any. And it sets the concealer really well, and it gives a really good, nice, bright yellow glow. I actually wore it this past weekend. I did a lot of partying, so some pictures on Instagram. And if you watch my live, if I'm not mistaken, I used this. So, oh, sorry, I got something in my eye there. And then my dry hands are not helping the situation. So that is the, yeah, Sasha Buttercup setting powder. I really enjoy that setting powder. The next item is from the brand Black Up. So this is one of the few things. I actually have their foundation as well, but and that's really good. But between the foundation and concealer, I like the concealer more. This brand, you can find it at Sephora. I don't know if it's still carried at Sephora, but it is online. It came over from France, if I'm not mistaken, and this is it's called Black Up Paris. Yeah, made in France. There you go. And this is their Palette de Correctors. I didn't say that right. Corrector palette. Somehow. This is the shade. I think there's like 3 or 4 of them. It's kind of worn off. I think this is the deepest one. So what you get in here is you get a yellow corrector, a peachy orange corrector, and then 2 skin tone concealer shades. And I've kind of been up in here for a while. My wax is blooming actually. So it's still so it's a feel. Let me wipe this cream in my hands. The feel of this is very thick. It's not a bad thick though. I'm trying to find something to compare it to. Ooh, and I can't at the moment off the top of my head. But anyway, it's a very thick product, but it warms up on your skin. It warms up in your hands, or if you're using your fingers. And this stuff is full coverage. The corrector here, this peachy corrector, is one of my favorite correctors. This is more for the deeper skin tones in terms of a corrector. It's almost like orangey peach. And then this one here I used most of the time if I'm using this concealer as concealer under the eyes to really brighten. It's really nice. I think this is a really good if you're picking one concealer every day, because you can use it lightly. It has a really nice coverage, but you can only dab a little bit if you want. And you get a lot of options in here. This is sold at Sephora as well. This is about, it was in the 30s of dollars though, so it ain't cheap. Then the next item, this is a balm finishing powder. This is by Black Opal. So the next, then the brand after that has black in the name too. This is by Black Opal, and this is their deluxe finishing powder. But I want you to see something at the bottom. This is the oil control formula. This stuff is really good. It reminds me, not all the way though. It ain't all the way. It reminds me of the baby between the Makeup Revolution, Makeup Forever Super Matte Loose Setting Powder and the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder in the shade Deep. Oh my god, something's in my eye. I apologize. So it reminds me of a combination of those two. It's not as thin, it's not as finely milled as the Laura Mercier powder. I know, I could cut this out of the video, but it's one of those days. It reminds me of it's not as finely milled as the Laura Mercier setting powder. It's definitely not. But it is, and it's almost as matte as the Makeup Forever one. The Makeup Forever one really gets you matte, almost cakey matte, where you really need to spray your face. But this one's somewhere in between. It's a really good option if you have really oily skin. This comes in a couple shades. There was a translucent shade. This is the shade 05 Deep. So I'm assuming there's a couple other skin tone shades. I know there's a translucent one. And I know there's like a yellowy one. Or that might be the translucent one I'm thinking of. But it's about $10. You get a lot in here. I'm not done with it. This is a whole ounce of powder, 28 grams. You get a lot of powder in here. So, absolutely check that out. Oh, God. I'm sorry, you guys. That's what we do here. That's what we do. That's what Candace does. She tries to minimize editing in her busy seasons. So, we leave it in sometimes. Melanin popping. All right, next brand is Black Radiance. And you guys, if you've been watching my channel, you know I love Black Radiance face products. And so I have 2 favorite products in here. This is the True Complexion Contour Palette. They came out with this contour palette. I think they have 2. Yes, this is medium to dark, and then there's lights and medium. Y'all can tell this contour shade in here, excuse me, is one of my favorite contour shades. So you have this contour shade, this deep contour shade, Sculpt, which I never use, and then you have a highlighter, which I have used, which is a pretty bronzy highlighter. But this contour shade is like perfect natural contour powder shade. This whole palette is like $6 at the drugstore. Black Opal is a drugstore brand. Black Radiance is a drugstore brand as well. Like $6. Wonderful, beautiful contour shade. I love, you can see. I need to get another one. Yeah, love it. They have a cream palette as well, just to show you if cream is your thing. I'm not that into the cream one, but they do have a cream palette if it's your thing. All right. And then the second product from the Black Radiance line that I love, if you've been following me, you know I need to stock up on more of these. Absolutely. Is the True Complexion Soft Focus Finishing Powder. Look at both of them. I have gone through, this is probably one of my top, I might make a video on that, like my most repurchased products ever. Let me know if you want to see that. That'll be an interesting video because I have so much makeup. Sometimes people think she can't possibly use things up. I do. And this is one of them where I usually keep backups. I think I have a backup of this one. So this is the Soft Focus Finishing Powder. It comes in 3 shades. There's a light one, and then this medium one is called, I think there's 3 shades. Golden Almond Finish. Yes, this is the lightest one. I'm sorry. Golden Almond Finish. And then this is the darkest one, Milk Chocolate Finish. There's one in between these two that I don't use. I use Golden Almond Finish to set under my eyes. Look at this compact. First off, it's a really cheap compact, but this powder is like $5. I love this powder. I set under my eyes. I've gone through plenty of them. Look, I've hit pan on it. I've gone through plenty of them. And then this is the Milk Chocolate Finish that I set my whole face with. Beautiful. Light. Looks like you look airbrushed. It's actually exactly what it says. Soft Focus Finishing Powder. And I love that powder. Really good. I definitely recommend it. Now, there's 2 brands that makes palettes that I absolutely love. And the first one being Juvias Place. So I don't even have a favorite palette. I can't pick one. This is my Juvias Place eyeshadow palette collection. I have a lot of them. So I don't know. I don't know which one I like the best. Tribe is really pretty. There's a lot of them. I can't pick one. But this company, I came across Juvias Place, I think, yes, at IMATS one year. They were at IMATS one year and they never came back. And I was kind of upset about it. My mom was too. But they put out, first off, palettes with beautiful artwork. And one thing I appreciate about Juvias Place is the price point of the palettes. Well, there's a lot. The price point of the palettes are great. Most of their palettes are around the $20 mark or less. The payoff, the colors are beautiful and vibrant and gorgeous. And the artwork on the front of them are always great. So, yeah, these are the pans. Like, they're big pans. Yeah, granted, you're not going to use up all that eyeshadow. Some people are like, that's just too much. But I don't want to say the more the merrier. But if you really like a shade, you have more of it. And yeah, so some of their palettes, like the Afrique, this has normal size pans, but most of them have larger pans. They have different pan sizes, and I really appreciate that. Bright, beautiful colors. This is a big one, the Magic. And I also love that their palettes are not always cohesive. They're not always, you can look at it and say, okay, there's some transition shades, some neutrals, there's a black. You know, you can't necessarily put it together easily. And I like that. As someone who has a lot of makeup, I don't need you to set up a palette for me for ease. And I know a lot of people want that. A lot of people want to look at a palette and it's arranged light to dark. You know your transition. There's some transition shades in there. There's some neutral shades in there. There's a black in there, a dark brown for you to smoke things, like an all-in-one palette. I have enough of those palettes, and that's fine. I'll still buy those type of palettes. But there's something about the way the Juvias Place palettes are set up where, for example, let's go back to the Tribe. This is kind of cohesive. You got some browns here. This might be, but it's kind of like a mustardy green. There's not, as soon as you look at this, there's not no straight, all right, that's your crease transition. All right, that's your brow highlight. No, these are all popping colors that make you think, that make you get creative. And I really love that. That's what I'm trying to say. Palettes that make you get creative. You know, palettes that aren't necessarily the easiest route to take. Palettes that can be intimidating for some people. I love it. And I'm living for it. what is this? So like the Nubian 2. I call it a little bit neutral, but at the first glance, maybe Madagascar in the crease. But like this, it's kind of all over the place. Oh, just got my nails in it. Of course I did. Kind of all over the place in a good way. But yeah, these palettes are wonderfully priced. They always have in sales, 40% off here. They are sold in Ulta. You can see them in store at Ulta now. Most of them are in the store at Ulta. I've seen them. Obviously, you can use coupons on them at Ulta and things like that. So they're really affordable, really accessible, and yeah, well done, Juvias Place. The Saharan is beautiful. I'm just going through them. Gorgeous. See, like, look, some of them, like these colors are a little bit similar, but still, there's not some boom creep. Like, oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, yes, that is Juvias Place. And then finally, the last brand. I'm putting this palette in because this palette is not used as much as I want to use it, as with all my palettes, because I got so many. But I wanted this palette for so long. When I first saw it, I fell in love with it. And I was just like, I don't know, ordering online. I haven't swatched it myself. It was like $50. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I went back and forth. For like a year. Like, oh, and then it went out of stock. It went out of stock. I think it was limited edition. And I was just like, so much remorse and regret. And then it came back. Like, it's been a roller coaster with this palette. And then it went on sale for like $17. And I was like, Candace, now is your chance. This is not a drill. Hustle. So, that is the Colored Rain Queen of Hearts palette. It's absolutely beautiful. I know, and this is one of those palettes where you got your crease shades, your transition shades. You know what your brow highlight can kind of be, sort of. But I don't know why it's so beautiful. It's not the most unique palette, honestly. But I don't know. It's so beautiful to me. It's just so beautiful. I really enjoy Noble Woman and Your Majesty. As you can see, I've used those quite a bit. But love it. And yes, Colored Rain's black-owned brand. Love it. Absolutely. And so, I had to throw it in this video. So there you go. So those are my favorite products from black-owned brands. Are these brands like my favorite brands in my makeup collection? I would say Juvias Place and Black Radiance are probably in just terms of brands as well. So in the favorite list. But these products are favorites and they just happen to be black-owned. And that's kind of how I handle this industry in terms of trying new things. I'm going to reach out to try more black-owned brands, but I'm also going to find products that I love. And, black-owned brands don't have to be this separate thing. I want just as many black owners as there are white owners. And hopefully that's the dream. Or even a little bit more. So, we don't have to, like, search out black brands. They should be at the forefront with everything else. And that's, like, my hope and vision and prayer for this makeup industry, the beauty industry. And, yeah. So those are my favorite products. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the products mentioned in this video, feel free to leave it down below. I love you all, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!